Hi, so we're back with the Cerberus today. Let's just switch her on. And we're going to be having a look at some FM. And when I say FM, I mean frequency modulation between the three engines that we have in here. So the analog and the two digital. So it's going to be modulating the analog VCO through its exponential FM by the digital engines. Now there's a bit of a quirk here because the digital engines track the frequency exactly of the analog. In essence, the modulating source will be tracking the VCO that it's just modulated. So you kind of got this strange control loop going on, which actually produces some really interesting and musical FM. So I'm just going to patch in from the digital engine 1 into the through 0 for the analog. We've got the sine wave of the analog coming straight out. I've got a Keystep Pro on the pitch, so I can just play some simple arpeggios for demonstration, and I'll go in and I'll turn on the first digital engine to a wavetable. What we'll have to do, by default, this will use an envelope. We don't want an envelope, we want it free running. So turn the envelope off. You can already hear there's a timbre change. So the wavetable we have is a pure sine wave, so it's only sine on this, and I'll just play the arpeggio. And already we've got some really nice FM tones there. And you can hear it's perfectly in tune across all of the octaves that it's playing. So it keeps its tuning perfectly. And we have the ability to change just intonation ratios. So at the moment you can see it's 1:1. So this will just be playing the exact same frequency that it's tracking from the VCO. But we can change and select from a whole range of ones in here, as you can see. The little FM there signifies that it's a well-known just intonation ratio, but you can obviously be free to use any of the ratios you want. So there we're getting some other FM effects there at 4:3. I'll just quickly go through these, you can hear the different sounds. So we're starting to get almost kind of bell tones out of it. We go up a little bit higher. There we are, 5:1, there's a really nice kind of bell sound. We can also go lower than 1:1, and that's where things start to get a little bit funky. So 3:4. And we can change the depth of the frequency modulation using this. So that's pure sine. Dial in the FM. Getting a bit crazier down there. And at the end here we have a couple of ones which give us some kind of metal bell tones. On top of these, we can also apply offsets. So this is a kind of fine tune. We can just introduce a little bit more grit into it. And because we're just using one of our standard wavetable digital engines, we can start doing some other interesting stuff, like changing the wavetable. Changing the position within the wavetable. In fact, what we can do is we can modulate the position in the wavetable with the built-in mod sources. So if I go to our modulation matrix, we can add a new slot. So MS1 is modulation source 1. The destination we want to be the wavetable position. And we'll turn that up full. There we go. So if I now go back to our main menu, we can go to modulation source. It's a sine wave. Let's just speed it up slightly. And now we'll turn it up. So that's now modulating the position in the wavetable, which is modulating the VCO. If I put this into the triangle wave, we'll start to get some other sounds. Let's just go back to our audio engine. We can do things, for example, like glide. So this is gliding the modulation source. So if I just turn off the arpeggiator, get some quite interesting sounds. Let me turn this down. Let's get a slightly more aggressive sound. We can also do things like modulate it with chords. So let's turn our chords on. We'll add just one item into the sequence. There's 4 notes in that chord, but we can turn that up. Things all get a bit crazy. Now, what we could do, we do have another digital engine. We can take the output of that, we can put that into the CV inputs for the modulation matrix. So we can turn on the second wavetable. Now this will be, well, at the moment it's not doing anything, but it's going into CV1. What I will do, so I'll go back to Audio Engine 1, Modulation, we'll add another slot. The source this time is going to be CV1, destination will be the pitch. I'll turn it all the way up. So now our digital engine 2 is modulating digital engine 1, which is modulating the analog engine, but both digital engines are also tracking the frequency of the analog engine. We can go back to Audio Engine 2, and we can put some, well, we can change the ratios, put a bit of glide on that as well. So we've got 2 different glide rates. You can listen to the other outputs as well. We can do triangle. So yeah, because we've got so many options on these digital engines, all kinds of things that you can do to self-modulate here. You go from, you know, quite aggressive, crazy sounds to really nice sine, bell sounds, and all kinds of stuff you can do. So yeah, I just wanted to give a quick overview of that, and yeah, have fun.